Welcome to the Biz for Good Show with your hosts, Bobby Glen James and Ryan Pilkington. The Biz for Good podcast is a fun and adventurous series that dives into the world of business, nonprofit, and startups, making a difference in the world for good. Get ready for another episode. Hey, cue that sick intro.
1 second. Introducing Bobby Glen James and Ryan Pilkington. Biz for Good. Oh, welcome to the Biz for Good Show. I am your host, Bobby Glen James, along with the Ryan Pilkington. And we know what today is. Today is EFL360 Founders Roundtable. So, we're going to jump
right in.
Somebody had
the Mountain Dew has finally kicked in. Ryan saw I was down, I was dead, and Ryan did the beautiful job of playing Happy for me, the song Happy, and it got me in the motion.
We had to get going, you know?
Yes. So we're gonna jump right in. You guys are up for segments with us, and we're gonna wing this thing. We're gonna have some fun today.
Wings.
Speaking of wings.
Wings. Oh, we'll talk about that in a minute. I'm still alive. That's all I know.
We'll start with the Biz4G.
But I may have lost my Texas card.
Oh,
Just
your
saying.
Texas card has been revoked, brother. Biz4G Studio News is brought to you by some amazing sponsors, and Bobby will go over that here.
Oh, I am?
Yes.
I'm gonna go over the
As we
amazing
rehearsed.
As we rehearsed. That's right. As we rehearsed. 8 Wisdoms, the book. Go to Amazon.com. Everybody's heard of Amazon.com. You can check out 8 Wisdoms. Of course, we talked about that before. It's my book, Bobby Glen James. If you want to learn the 8 Wisdoms, wisdoms to live by, principles to change your life forever for the good. 8 Wisdoms.
Voiceover by
Bobby Glen James. And of course, Speak Up Speaker Studio, professional speaker studio, speakupspeakers.com. Do you want to become a speaker? Are you a speaker? Do you think you're a speaker? You may be, or you may not be a speaker. You have no clue. But come to speakupspeakers.com and find out how to be a better speaker. And of course, EFL360.com. Entrepreneurs, founders, and leaders. Get your pants on, get your game on, and get out there and get successful and do some powerful, powerful stuff. Change the world. Be an entrepreneur, a founder, and a leader that moves people and shakes people. That's what we are all about here today. Thanks for the Taylors to come and feel of the little tiny bit of energy we have here today. So...
Yeah, it's feeling a little low there.
You sure that was Mountain Dew, Bobby?
Come on,
I'm sure that was
pump it up, Bobby. Come on, raise the volume. Power up your passion, baby. Power up your passion.
Maybe it was actually the protein drink that has finally kicked in. That's what I needed, some calories.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, we'll go into the Wing Coop 11 Challenge Survivor, Mr. Bobby Glen James here.
Yeah, I thought
Tell us more a little
we
bit.
weren't going to talk about
We're
that.
going to. It's the elephant in the room that needs to be talked about.
Needs to be talked about.
Pink elephant.
You know, it was really hot. I have eaten lots of hot.
I heard that somewhere.
I have eaten lots of hot things. I love spicy. I love Thai food. I like getting number 5 in the Thai food scale. I love hot food, but that was insane. I mean, there's hot, and then there's fiery lava. I don't know if any of you remember that old email back in the old day about the guy that was, he was from New York, and he came to Texas, and they asked him if he would be a judge for the chili cook-off. Have you guys seen that email? You guys haven't seen that email? And the first guy goes, he's the last judge, and the first guy goes, it's kind of tangy, it's got a good flavor, it's nice. And the second guy goes, yeah, it's a little mild, could be a little spicier, blah, blah. And then he tasted it, and he goes, oh my gosh, my mouth is on fire. And that's the first one. And he goes through like 4 iterations, and he's like puking on himself. They have to call the hospital. Sorry, the judge had to leave. They had to call an ambulance, and he's like, oh, it's the funniest email I've ever read. I can't believe you guys have never read that one.
No.
It went around about 10, 11 years ago.
Oh, it was like...
It was before social media.
Yeah. pass
I'm going to
this
go
along
find
and-
that because it's hilarious, and we're going to put it on Biz for Good Show.
Yeah.
I felt like that guy.
Yeah, so there's
I felt
one,
like-
there's one thing I heard about that wing challenge. It's hard.
That was a good job.
That was all I can say. That's all I can say.
Two-word vocabulary last week. During a 2-hour meeting with Bobby, he shared several times 2 words. It's hot.
That's so true. Oh, and I wanted to share. Check it out.
Nice.
You got yours on
I will
today
show,
too?
yes.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Awesome. I got a good story with mine. I bet you got a good story with yours.
Yeah, we got 2 guys here that skinned their knees.
Yeah, at the same exact knee.
And one
Same
guy,
day,
Same
same place.
Same day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Awesome.
I didn't skin my knee, and neither did you.
I feel
Did
so
you
left
skin
out.
I know.
Yeah.
I didn't get the invitation.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah.
So, if you guys have a challenge out there for us in podcast land, please
Podcastland.
email us at info@biz4goodshow.com and see what challenges might pop up for us.
Info.
Let's see what Bobby can do. I don't know. You go first.
Biz4goodshow.com. What Bobby can do? No, next one's on Ryan.
Oh,
Right
next
on.
one's
Oh,
me?
yeah.
Next one's on
Ooh.
Ryan.
Totally on Ryan.
Yeah, there we go. We want to also say that we are listed top 5 on Podcastland
Consistently.
So thank you for that.
For listening.
It's awesome.
Awesome.
So we want to become the podcast of the week. So please go to podcastland.com and vote.
Podcastland.com. Vote for Biz for Good Show.
Go to business section. Just click on business, and we'll be right there.
Be right there.
So awesome.
We're going to get up there. We're going to get the podcast of the week.
Yeah.
Because that's hot.
It's
Yeah,
hot.
it's hot.
That's a good
It's
hot.
hot! That's the new catchphrase. Hashtag.
It's
hot!
How many O's are in the official hot hashtag for that?
Oh yeah, we want to
bunch.
thank Wing Coop
Oh, yeah.
for
Wing
that
Coop.
and Team 8.
Should there be 3 O's, 4 O's,
5.
or 11 O's?
11.
11.
11 O's. And
Or
you,
4.
You guys know that the reason that Wing Coop did 11 challenge is an homage to Spinal Tap. That's why it's 11. Because it's it's not 10 on the.
Because they could have done 4 and it would have worked.
Yeah, 4 would have been. Hey, man, that's what it should have been. I think they're trying to kill people at that place, man.
Hashtag
11
do good,
challenge.
be good.
All right.
Yeah, we put the title as Pain for Good.
Pain for good. All right, at the end of each month, we'd like to sit down with these awesome people behind me from the founders of EFL360, dedicated educators, leaders, passionate business owners doing good and helping entrepreneurs, founders, and leaders. So each month we dive deep, sitting down with these guys, and we want to give a warm welcome to Jay, Kevin, Bobby, and myself on the EFL360 Founders Roundtable
Warm
episode.
welcome. Episode what?
Episode 26.
26.
Now that's hot.
You know,
That is hot.
Now
That's hot.
Now that's hot.
this thing's going to be as old as I am in a couple more weeks.
26. So you're saying you're 28?
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to kind of go through the segments here. We will have fun with them, I'm sure. But the first one we're going to get a little.
We're gonna be really
We're going to
boring,
get
right?
really serious for a moment
Uh-oh.
because the Biz Hack is 9-minute daily challenge. So let me just talk about this for a moment. I was going through some not so good stuff, and I needed motivation. And I found this video, and there's a lot of them out there, and I played it every day for probably a month. And it got me going. Anytime I was down. So I'm only going to play a minute and a half of this. But I challenge you, if you're going through some stuff,
You're going to put it on.
put it on every day.
You're going to put it on the Biz for Good show on Facebook, right?
It'll be up there shortly.
Okay.
So you ready?
So we can hear the whole thing.
All right, here we go. So it's only a minute and a half. So if you want to hear the rest, you got to go to our Facebook page.
Got it. And it's full 8 minutes 46 seconds long.
Yeah. So I put
But
it 9
it's
minutes.
super powerful.
Am I in there? Oh no. Are we in trouble?
And where are you going? You look at your life. You look at what you produce.
You're not plugged in, brother.
Is it giving you what you want? Are you living on purpose? Are you living your dream?
technology. Worked perfectly. It worked perfectly before. Why are you not on? What's going on?
Well, we'll just put it on the Facebook page then.
Hold it. Oh, come on, man. Play with that.
Yeah, we'll just put it on the Facebook page.
Psych.
It's pretty powerful, though.
Oh, man,
Yeah.
it worked perfectly. Technology is so crazy.
It's all good.
It's like you work, you got it all figured out, it's perfect, and then you go with the flow because technology will let you down.
Basically, it goes through some montages from motivational speakers, and they're just going through, and like, when life gets you down, just keep going. But it's a lot better than I can do, but it's awesome. So I'll put it up on Facebook.
Everybody listen to it because it's powerful.
It's hot.
It's hot.
Hot.
It's hot. It's so hot.
All right, so we have the good news. The good news is a story, a good Phil story from Telly, who is a dog. Telly the dog.
Telly the dog.
So for Telly and his owner, it's more of a job. So basically what they do is they go out and they help people as a therapy dog. So in the quote here, it says, "We feel incredibly privileged to do the work we love while helping people in their life's journey. Telly has so much fun at work, interacting with people that shower her with love, kindness, treats, and a whole lot of belly rubs." So you can read the whole
I
story.
love belly rubs too. I know why dogs
Yeah.
like it. I mean, doesn't everybody love a good belly rub?
Bobby, it's hot.
It's hot.
Belly rubs are hot.
Belly rubs are hot.
Hey, Ryan, does it say where Telly is? Is that
Uh,
something local here?
no.
Is Telly a girl?
Yeah, Telly's a
Telly
female
is a
little.
female.
She's in Hartford, Connecticut.
Okay.
How'd you know that?
So we can move on to the next segment.
Man, Jay, he's sly. He's sly.
Sly. All right, you want to read the quote of the day? Somebody.
Quote of the day. It all begins and ends in your mind. What you give power to has power over you if you allow it.
Woo!
What do you think?
Ow!
You got anything on that?
Thoughts
Jeez.
become things.
What's that?
Thoughts
become
become things.
Thoughts become. Yeah, I was thinking about that today.
What you think about is what you become. It's not rocket science. It's not magic. It's not even a secret. What you focus on is what you get.
You know, in our family, we say, you get what you look for. If you are looking for the troubles, if you're looking for the problems, you're going to see those problems, you're going to see the troubles. If you're looking for something that is good and that builds you up, you're going to find that.
Yep. And I'm looking you up. I'm turning you up.
All right.
All right. Well, that segment went smoothingly wonderful. So we'll just turn it over to Bobby for the show.
Smoothingly wonderful. Welcome to the show. We are at our interview portion for EFL360 Founders Roundtable. Are you going to
hot.
pull up our notes? It's hot. This is going to be so hot, ladies and gentlemen. You are going to need a fan.
I do need.
I'd like you to introduce you to my biggest fan. And there it is blowing over there. Just kidding. Okay. So I just wanted an awkward pause because I thought that would be cool.
Very well done.
Dun.
It's hot.
So who, what, and why? I mean, we've got it up there. So
For today's show.
yeah.
No, for today's meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I had a feeling that was what that was all about. But yeah. Okay. Biz for Good. How does? Oh, we wanted to talk about why is trust important? Can we go there? Are you guys important? So this month has all been about what really works, right? What really works, and we wanted to talk about does creating trust, does creating a place with our statement, which I love. You guys know I love accountability advances credibility. I love that statement, and we're just going to open the floor. I know you guys have stuff to iterate about that, and I I could talk about it all day. So but when you brought up that it creates credibility, that hit hard, because we want to do business with folks that'll take accountability, that'll take charge, that'll do things, that won't blame it on this, that, and the other. If only I had, if this or that. We want to do business with those folks. When you go to town, so why is trust important, guys? Turn it over to you.
You know, I think we could talk about this from any one of the three weekly meetings we've done this week. I think, Bobby, trust
This month.
Yeah, this month. Trust, I think, is a great way to sum up so much of what we did. I mean, you brought us through accountability. Jay, you took us through, I remember the revenue plan, but I know it went far beyond that. It was so much there. And then we talked about getting to know your customers. I think every single one of those has its root in trust. What really works is creating that trust on a very real level. You know, I think we spent last Thursday it being National Get to Know Your Customer Day, the third Thursday of every quarter. Yeah.
Yes.
And we just talked about getting to know your customers, and really, what is that except for building trust when you come down to it? It really is trust.
If your customers trust you, they're going to stay your customers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, it's kind of that simple. And why is that important? I remember when I was a youngster, I had a Camaro that I rebuilt. It was a '77 Camaro, and it was awesome. It was my baby. Drove it all over the country. I drove that thing all over the country. But it didn't even have some transmission problems, but I took it into the transmission place because I wanted a shift kit put in it and do all this cool stuff. And they told me, oh, the transmission's ruined. It's going to cost you $500 to. That was a long time ago. It doesn't cost $500 now. It costs a crap load more than that because I had another car. But anyway, and I was like, well, dude, I'm a kid. I don't have $500 to replace it. You're just going to have to put it all back together that you can. And my dad said my dad's pretty savvy, and he was like, that company's full of crap. There's nothing wrong with that transmission. He had a buddy come look at it. Of course, yeah, there wasn't anything wrong with the transmission. It was fine. And I remember thinking, wow, how long can somebody stay in business and do that to people? And I'd drive by that place all the time. And sure enough, 6 months later, the place was gone. It was out of business. Yeah. And you cannot build something great by scamming folks. You may get some quick revenue from stuff like that, but until you create trust and loyalty and I firmly believe love from your clients or customers, you won't be as successful as you could be.
Would that be in your business being consistent in delivering goods and product and service and quality?
You know, that brings up a great point. In this day and age, with all the technology and all the marketing crap that is thrown at us constantly, and us all being business folks here, we've all had business and we've all used marketing and stuff like that, and there's so many promises out there that do not work, or will. And I say promises, but I don't mean that, because most of the time they'll tell you, oh, well, this is what should happen, and then it
never does.
Yeah.
You know, there was a friend of mine worked with the group. I don't want to name the group because I think it's generally a reputable group, but they had a 6-month money-back guarantee that their service would absolutely accomplish, you know, certain standards. However, that money-back guarantee required that you do A, B, C, D, E, F, change this that you're doing now over to G, and don't forget H. And if you skip any one of those steps, even if it's minor,
No money back.
yeah, guarantees off the table. You're on your own. Thank you for playing. And I think there's a lot of that. You know, and I can understand this company's perspective of saying, look, you know, we'll give you this. You've got to do the work for it to, you know, for this guarantee to mean anything. But at the same time, you're sometimes wondering, really, just because I'm using a different piece of software to accomplish what you say I need to accomplish with that one, it voids the results I'm going to get? You know, I think there's trust, and there's problems that come with, even with something like that seems so good, by making it so hard to claim, you're essentially saying we don't trust our customers, and we don't expect our customers to trust us back.
We talk about noise all the time, and there is so much noise that everybody's trying to have a gimmick that will get your attention, and it's unfortunate, because then they have to put all those caveats in there because they know they'll get taken advantage of themselves. I've done businesses where I was loose about things, and all of a sudden my clients were taking advantage of me, and I'm like, oh goodness, I guess I should have put some stipulations in here that it isn't, I'll do anything and everything for you and all this stuff. But in this noisy, we talk about noise. Jay, you're being awful quiet.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
I want to hear some. I know how you feel about noise. I know you and me both feel the world is full of it. And how do we do that?
Yeah, we've never lived at a noisier time. The world is noisy. There are people, there are brands, there are causes, there are organizations screaming for our attention. And if they're not purposeful, if they're not trustworthy, if they're not about meaning and significance, they're just adding to the noise. And I think how that plays into trust, and going back to Ryan's original question, we look at what is being trustworthy. How do we create trust? One of the ways we create trust is through a consistent deliverable, through doing it over time consistently, and being able to do that. So I think that's it. So when people come to us and say, I want to make a difference in my business, I want to see some improvement here or there, and we can look at it and say, well, tell us about your trust strategy. Are you trustworthy? Do you deliver? And if, I do, I had some vendor problems, it didn't come out, we made some marketing promises, we were just kind of loud and noisy or something like that, that erodes trust, that erodes credibility. And then we can take an action to being accountable. Another thing, Bobby, I think your example brings out, and how we create trust is delivering on our promises, right?
Yes.
And you're in an experience where that trust was breached from the outset, that it wasn't a trustworthy business model, and they were out of business. So if somebody comes to us and talks about, well, sustainability, how do I create sustainability in what I'm doing? How do I make this go for the long haul, for the long term? Well, is trust a part of that? Are you creating a culture of trust? Are you honoring trust? And it's just absolutely huge. I think one of the things that we are really fortunate today to be able to look at, I think we can thank the larger Stephen Covey group, is how they looked at how emotion plays into the buying cycle, how emotion plays into business, how we do business with people we like, we do business with people we feel good about. There's all these things. And they narrowed it down to the concept of, what that common denominator is? That one thing that really makes a difference? It's trust. And then they came out with the program and the book, The Speed of Trust. So if we want to narrow the gap, if we want to create differences more quickly, we can accelerate the speed of trust. And as we accelerate the speed of trust, we can accelerate the business growth. We can accelerate customer satisfaction. We can cut through the noise. We can do so many things. I think trust is fundamental.
And the interesting part is it really always goes back to doing good. Because if you're doing good, then you're going to gain trust. Mm-hmm. If you're doing good for the client, if you're doing good for the customer, then they're going to trust you.
Integrity.
Integrity. It's such a simple concept, and it's why we're so into the Biz for Good and what Biz for Good means. It's surrounded all of this. When you do good things, you create trust. You're taking accountability for stuff. You're being credible. It all connects over and over again to focusing on doing good for the customer or client. And if it's bull crap, if it's noise, if it's a lie, and a gimmick, it won't last.
It's not sustainable. So trust absolutely integrates with doing good and being good, right? Can we create do good, be good businesses, do good, be good cultures, do good, be good revolutions without trust? It might be one of those things that's an essential or fundamental element, and we get to look at that. So, I think that's why we're discussing that. And it might be a root of a lot of problems as people come to us, as we share, as we're in masterminds and cohorts and things like that. That that's not on the agenda. That's not typically, that sexy item out there. Let's talk about funnel marketing, or, let's talk about, pay-per-view or clicks or whatever it might be, It's like, yeah, well, when you say, I've got incredible content, click here, and I click, and there's not incredible content, what have I injured? Trust, integrity, right? I've eroded that credibility. And I think that plays into our statement, which is attributable to one of my mentors, who is Chaplain Mark Allison, who that accountability advances credibility. That's where that comes from. Is then do we take accountability for what we say? Do we take accountability for our promises? Do we take accountability for our quality, whether it's a product or a service?
Yeah. Guys, I'm a big accountability. That's my thing. I mean, but how do we take accountability? I'm asking that question because sometimes, you get people say all the time, well, sometimes it's not your fault. What is that? When you hear that, I'm just asking, I know how I feel about it, but I'm asking you guys, how do you take accountability? What does that even mean?
One thing that strikes me when you say sometimes it's not your fault, the thing I look at from a business perspective especially is if the customer pays me to deliver, whose fault is it if something's not delivered? Does it matter if a supplier failed? Does it matter if whatever, did I deliver? And I think from a customer perspective, they don't care. I didn't get my whatever it is I promised, and it's your fault. The person who promised, and that's the only one who ultimately is accountable for that. Now, you as the business owner can go back to a non-accountable vendor, or you can go back to a partner who failed or something else.
Work on fixing that.
And work on fixing that, but ultimately you are the one on the hook with the customer. They didn't hire your vendor. They didn't hire your partner. They hired you.
And they will appreciate it when you take accountability for it.
And
even if it's not your fault.
Right. If you own it, you say, look, we had some problems. I cannot deliver as I promised. It is entirely on me. This is a new delivery date, or whatever it may be that you have to do. I think that engenders the trust.
And it's where that credibility comes in, where the client goes, oh, okay, that person's taking accountability for this. I feel good. I feel good that they're going to fix it. Because if they said, oh, well, it's the vendor didn't ship it right, or this, that, or the other, then they're not. How can I trust them? How can I trust that they're going to make things happen? But if they take it on, you guys know what I mean? Yeah. You guys.
I actually have a personal story on this.
Perfect.
Yeah, this is perfect.
Perfectamundo.
So I'm not going to name the product or anything, but I was really excited. I was looking at my emails, waiting
Hair
for
gel for men.
Yeah, I got to get my gel on.
Gel.
I was really excited. I check every day for a tracking number. Usually you order something and there's right away, like a day later, you get a tracking information, and then you can track it and be like sitting on it all.
Watch it.
It's
go
coming.
Exciting. It's coming.
And that's part of the experience as you put money or investment into something. You're excited for it. You wanted to get it, and then instead of a tracking number, I got, oh well, the shipment didn't come in. You're gonna get it at the end of such and such month. And I was, oh man, and they said, you want to, take a survey and reorder again. And I was like, you didn't promise on goods, and the survey, I'm marking you like way low. So that was a real live example of what we're talking about here. Is like, I don't blame. They probably had some problems, whatever, but it was just the experience. And I didn't feel like I should do business with them again, or maybe give them a couple months to cool off.
And if they'd have taken it seriously and say, we care about you so much, and we apologize so much that this has happened. We are taking complete action to make this never happen again. If they would have been like that and really taken it seriously instead of, this happens in business, this happens, this is what happens. I had a. Go ahead.
On the flip side, I have another product that I get monthly on a subscription base, and they're amazing. Like if I need to communicate, they'll stop stuff, they'll do this, they'll change that. within like 10 minutes, and they're a big company, so I'm brand loyal to them because they've gone over and beyond. I could have bailed out if they wouldn't have, like you said, helped out.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that Ryan's story illustrates so powerfully, and I think we should share with the tribe today, is if we do have a problem and we want to be accountable, one of the actionable items we can do is to simply communicate. That's people want to know. So we're able to get on the phone, get in an email, text, whatever it is, call somebody out, take them to lunch, whatever it is, and say, hey, I want to tell you what's going on. You're important to me. Your business is important to me. I thought we handpicked the best vendor, but I'm sorry, Bobby. This did or didn't happen, but here's what we are doing. I think when we know when we know what's going on, so that's the actionable item, then I think the power in what Ryan just shared was just phenomenal. He just said something with an I am statement. He said, in this other company, I am brand loyal. Why is he brand loyal? Because of this experiences he has. One of the aspects of the experience that you just described is they deliver as promised.
Yep.
So interesting that who would have thought this, and so simple, trust breeds brand loyalty.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's kind of amazing. So again, looking at the tools we can use, the things that we can do, we can increase our trust by being accountable. We can maintain our trust by being accountable. We can become trustworthy or even more so by being accountable. And accountability can be aided by communication. We can own, like Kevin said, that something's happened. We've made a challenge. The buck stops here. It's my business. It's my deliverable. However, let me tell you what's going on. And then maintain the communication. Not just, hey, we're going to be late, but this is why we're going to be late, and we're going to update you every 24 hours, every 2 days. We're going to update you through delivery.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting on that thing.
You really?
Oh, man.
It's been 2 years?
No. It's been a month and a half.
Oh, a month and a half.
Oh, sorry.
Still, that's too long in a world of 2 days shipping.
Yeah. Anyways.
Well, the other thing I think about with Ryan, with that story, if something does go wrong, do you give people an option? Do you say, look, it's going to be delayed this long. Do you want to keep this order in, or do you want to go find it somewhere else?
I would have liked that option.
If they say, look, our fault, you can, we'll get your money back to you. You can go find this somewhere else or find a competing product.
That would have made me want to buy from them again.
Absolutely.
And I think they would find a lot of customers with that response would say, you know what? No, I trust you guys to do this. Make it happen. Yeah, there would be some that need it now that would say, thank you for letting me out. I do need this tomorrow. But think of the trust that would build of giving someone the option to get out when you fail.
And that's an accountable thing. That's being accountable, right?
Big time.
It makes me think of a subscription-based stuff. You'd said subscription. And, there's kind of two kinds. There's easy to get out of subscriptions and really hard to get out of subscription models.
Yeah.
And I am more inclined to go back to an easy to get out of model than I am when I have to jump through all these hoops to quit it. I'm like, man, I will never buy that thing again or be a part of that thing again because it was such a monster to stop, to quit. I had to cancel my banking, you know what I mean? And that just goes right back to trust, trusting that vendor.
I was just going to say, when you're putting a business together, you got to do your values and your value propositions, and trust, integrity. It's got to be in that value structure, right?
Absolutely. And we can look at trust along a continuum, right? And integrity is one of the words that pop up with respect to trust, and look at that and identify those values. However, what I want to ask, and what I hope the listeners, the tribe, is listening and thinking about is, can you run a successful, sustainable, profitable business without trust?
I'd say no.
Let me chime in. As long as you can keep your customers absolutely confused and they don't realize that you're ripping them off. But that's not going to last long. So, no, I mean, sustainable? No. I mean, it will last until you're caught.
And I'm going to say, I think there's plenty of folks out there that do that, and they probably do make quite a bit of money, but I think it's because they jump to the next thing to take advantage of folks. and the next thing, and the next thing. I mean, wouldn't you rather have something super sustainable that you can be proud of, that you can, hold up your Facebook or your Tesla or, and say, you know what, I rode through, I was my word, I was insanely accountable, and I've created something great, not made a bunch of money, just made a bunch of money. I mean, revenue, we're all businessmen here, and we understand that revenue is king. I mean, you do have to make revenue for the business to make sense. But if it's not your ultimate focus, usually you do better.
And so you just described a business model that is based on crash and run, right? Staying ahead of the tsunami. That's also a business model where most of your marketing and advertising budgets are spent in reacquisition or new acquisition of customers, because you can't maintain or retain customers. So that business model of inventing the next thing, changing the next thing before they find out or something, keeping people running, is really one where I don't think you're dealing with a lot of long-time, loyal customers going to ride through. I think it's really important when we talk about trust in business, and the theme for our show is be good, do good. What we find in the world at large, and what is even a larger issue and more fundamental to the human experience, is trust. So much of life, so much of the pain we feel, the hurt we cause, the aspects of our life that are troubling are based on where we have lost trust, where we are not trustworthy, where trust isn't there. So it is one of those fundamental values, as Ryan brought up our values, that's on both sides, personal and business. And not everything is like that. Oftentimes we're able to look at, these are business models, revenue model, business, but trust might be one of those fundamental things, because I would suggest that it's an ingredient in all relationships, whether they be personal or business. And we are never doing business, even if we're in the B2B market, we are never doing business with friends and followers and circles and likes and users. We're always doing business with people.
Yeah.
And people want to be able to trust. We all do. It's innate, it's fundamental, it's necessary. And broken trust causes problems.
And all those things you mentioned can be manipulated.
Yes. What do they cause when they're manipulated?
Distrust,
pain, hurt, anger,
Scandals.
scandal, fraud. I mean, so many things, right? And so this aspect of being good and doing good in the world, it's more than just business. It's how we show up. It's how we live life. It's a way of being. It's a mindset. It's a culture, right? And it's on both sides. It's individual and business. And so I guess I just want to share, I think it's something we're always working on, is IJ need to be trustworthy, and I need to create trust individually, and then I can put it into business. And I'd like to make sure that we share that, because in the beginning, Bobby, when you started out and you shared and we're talking about business and being trusting to our customers, I wanted to suggest, as leaders, as founders, as advocates, we need to create trust within our organization, and it's as essential as outside. Because if I can't trust the boss, if I can't trust the message, if I can't trust Kevin to do his part of the work, then it's not going to happen.
How do you expect them to treat the client well?
And how can they?
They won't.
You know what? I can't deliver to you, Ryan, on my promise, because Kevin's not delivering to me on his.
Sorry, Ryan.
Oh, man.
Buck did not stop here. Not at all. But right, Bobby?
But with entrepreneurs and founders, you do have to take responsibility for everybody in that industry, in your whatever you're doing.
Your organization.
You are
your
the
cause.
creator of the culture. And if that culture is let's rip everybody off, that's what's going to happen.
In the marketplace.
Yes.
So I guess I'm trying to suggest...
Even your employees are going to know that. They're going to know they're being ripped off, and there's no loyalty there
immediately.
whatsoever.
And they're not going to be able to promise it. They're not going to be able to deliver it.
I've been in businesses like that, and it's interesting to hear the employees.
Yeah.
I love talking to employees when they say, how much they love where they're at or whatever. I mean, you know that something's being done right there.
Yeah. So trust begins with me, and I have to create a culture and a place and a space of trust and trustworthiness in my organization. So we've talked about it out to the customer, we've talked about it internally, but I also get to be trustworthy with my strategic partners, with my vendors, with others, that I deliver on my promises. That then I say, hey, Kevin, could you guys give us a discount? Could you do, net 30? Could you, the volume we're going to be buying over the next year, you want to do business with me? Well, then I need to do that volume over the next year. So trust, it is pervasive. It is pervasive, and its absence not only erodes credibility and erodes accountability, it erodes profitability. It's everywhere. It's one of those things, it's like oxygen or water. We cannot successfully survive without it.
Yeah. My dad, great businessman, often told me a happy customer equals a good bottom line. And I think that really ties to what we're talking about right now.
Absolutely.
If you have
powerful.
the trust, your customers will be happy working with you. And if we create that, then, hey, it pays results. It pays dividends having people be happy with what you do.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, what do you guys think? What's up for next week? Or what's up for next month at EFL360?
We're entering into full-time, full-on big in the month of August and September. It's 61 days to marketing life. We're going to be spending every week for the next 2 months in actual marketing practices. Yes, we'll talk strategy, but we will look at tactics, what you can do. It's going to be an exciting 2 months. We'll be introducing the EFL deck here next Thursday in terms of what we believe in, what we're going. It's only getting better, week by week, month by month.
Awesome. And check it out, EFL or Facebook.com/EFL360. You can watch us live. You can watch the weekly EFL360 weeklies every week if you want to. They're live. So go on the Facebook page and check that out.
And that's Thursday from 4 to 6 Mountain Time.
And today would be a great day. I have a feeling we're going to have a really, really powerful experience today. We're going to be looking at the growth paradox that business owners face. And one can participate live. We monitor the comments, so you can ask questions, you can chime in, they can be shared. But today is going to really be one of those meetings where we really look at what really works, what really matters, and how to create better, how to create a difference.
Awesome.
It'll be good.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right.
Let's take on next month.
All right.
Okay, next week we got Cassie Swirls and her mom Linda on the show. Should be fun. Any last words there, Ryan?
No, just keep on being good and doing good, and hashtag
Be good, do good.
hashtag
Be good, do good.
and
Hashtag be good, do good.
Hey, Bobby,
Yeah.
it's hot.